Today on Live from the Man Cave, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. You guys remember that song from back in the day? I don't even know. I'm adjusting our camera here, excuse me. I don't even know who sang it. Willie Nelson, maybe? I don't know. But that song has always kind of humored me and made me laugh every now and then. And I thought of that song this weekend, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But I have to ask you first, did you have a nice Memorial Day weekend? I hope you guys did. We certainly did. I actually got one beach day, and that leads into the story I'm going to tell you today. Got a little bit of beach time, and that was nice. If you haven't seen the Monday morning moment that we did this week, it's all about what Memorial Day really means. And I know you think you know, but I got a little bit of a twist on it. So if you haven't seen it, it's 3.5 minutes long. You can go to the chefjordan.com website. Yeah, if you haven't been yet, you need to go. And go to the Monday Morning Moment tab. It's the very first video. And it talks about Memorial Day and about love. Ooh, can you put those two together? I think you can. Go check it out. Anyway, we're back here in the Man Cave. It's Wednesday. Haven't seen you in a week. We were out on Friday doing things, overcome by events, as it were. We're back today. It's hump day. Where's the week gone? It's already like flying by. All right, humility. Yeah, that's a hard thing, isn't it? Especially in this day and age, it seems to get more and more difficult to be humble. Now, you know the song, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. How many of you ever have felt that in your life? Even for a millisecond. And I think that perhaps all of us have. But you know, it's funny, I don't know about you, but the world has a way of reeling you back in when you get a big head. Or as my dad likes to say, if you feel like you're the most on toast, yeah, eventually the world's going to reel you back in and remind you you're not really in charge the way you think you are. Now, why would I be bringing that up today? Well, on the aforementioned beach day, which was Saturday, I did something that I don't do a lot when I'm at the beach, and that's this, as I was sitting in my beach chair, just drinking in all the goodness of God's nature and all of that good stuff, I started to read a magazine. Okay, I don't usually do that, but Mary Downey had brought some magazines. And so I read them. And it was interesting because I got her, this magazine that I read, I got her a subscription to this magazine for Christmas because she had some interest. And as it turns out, I think that I'm going to be the one that gets the most out of these magazines. Maybe you'll know why in just a minute. So I started reading them just because I was bored and I wanted something to do. Now the magazine is called, I'm going to show it to you, Magnolia Journal. Those of you that remember the show Fixer Upper, you'll recognize Joanna on the front, Joanna Gaines, won't you? Okay, so I don't know when Fixer Upper started, I think 2013. And Chip and Joanna Gaines are a husband and wife team, and they live in Waco, Texas, and they fix up old houses, yada, yada, yada. But the show was a huge hit. Maybe some of you remember it, and I think it was on till 2018. A lot of reasons it was a huge hit, but probably one of the most important reasons, significant reasons, is that Chip and Joanna just have this, well, they have this connection. They complement each other so well. That it really kind of took off. Now Chip, and this story revolves around Chip. Chip is one of those guys we all know. He's gregarious. He's a happy guy. He has a way of making you feel comfortable. He's, nice looking and just the life of the party. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of a goofball every now and then. Joanna, on the other hand, is a little bit more subdued. Not that that's bad, but she's just not quite as bubbly as Chip is. But they work together well, and the show took off in large part because of that connection. But it also led to a lot of other things that the Gaines family is doing, and that's one of the reasons I believe that they stopped doing the show. They just ran out of time. And one of the things is this Magnolia Journal. Okay, so I started reading it, and at the very end of this edition, I got it right here. You know, Chip always does. You can see I've got it highlighted because I'm gonna read some stuff to you. It's gonna blow you away. Chip always does an article at the end of the magazine. Now, make no mistake, this is Joanna's deal. This is her brand. And she's created it. She's the visionary. She knows what it is she likes to promote or teach people about, and she's really good at it. But listen to this and see if this resonates with any of you who might have ever been in this situation. Okay. Chip's talking about when they first were approached about the show in the first couple of seasons. And he goes on to say here that he had always seen himself as the leader because he was really good in front of people, in front of cameras, gregarious, very comfortable, funny, charming, yada, yada, yada. Didn't quite turn out that way, and for a couple of years he couldn't understand why. It's funny because in this article he writes, he goes, you know, we'd go to meetings and I'd have all these things to say and nobody was really listening, and then Joanna would talk and it's like E.F. Hutton, everybody just stopped and listened. And he couldn't understand why, because he felt like he was the one with all the personality. So as it turns out, Joanna is the star of this show. This is her vision. This is her creation. Chip's just a part of it. So he writes here, and let's see if this rings true to some of you. I figured I had two choices. I could either stay confused and a little frustrated by the fact that things hadn't panned out like I'd imagined as a young daydreamer, or I could see my purpose as being greater than any one fixed idea. That's called being humble. He goes on to say, so rather than staying fixated on being the star of my own life, I decided to take up the greater purpose of helping her reach her absolute, her being Joanna, her absolute potential. He goes on to say, he became the foundation that she can trust to allow her to dream the future that she envisions. The role I thought I was born to play, he says, ended up not being the one intended for me. Has anybody ever run into that in their lives? I suspect many of us have at some point. He finishes up by saying, I think it can be a natural inclination for some of us who are so sure of our life's purpose to neglect, even by accident, a potentially greater role in the process. Yeah. And finally he says, there's a good chance that some of us won't end up living out the thing we think we were destined for. Does that ring true for any of you? Because somewhere along the way, something unimaginable, possibly even greater, something entirely different from the plan, will land in our path. And we can either say, no thanks, and keep trudging along, waiting for the part we believe is ours, or we can use the time we have on earth to say yes to an even greater purpose, the one actually intended for us. Well, drop the mic, because I finished reading that article on the beach and I said, these guys should be coming on intentional faith, because that's some of the things we have been preaching to you since day one. Now, I got to tell you, they don't bring faith into the equation here, but everything that the Gaines family does, I would say is spiritual in nature. And that article just proves it. Now, Chip Gaines just pointed out in that one article what it means to be humble. And if you think that's weakness, then I'm not sure there's much hope for you. There's a guy that had the cojones to take a look at a situation that he had a different idea about and realize, I got a different role. And that's what's intended for me. And if I play that role, we will be even more successful than we would have been otherwise. And I would suggest it's all about following God's plan for you. So it boils down to this. Where are my notes? Boom. What is your role in your life? Is it all about you? We've had this discussion before, haven't we? Is it all about you? And if so, you might just be missing the one most important role of your entire life. And that is the role that God has planned for you. And it's a perfect plan, isn't it? So what I would just say is, take a page out of Magnolia Journal in Chip Gaines's article here, and be searching for what that role is. And the first thing you need to do is to understand it's not about you. And the minute you can accept that, you're going to be surprised and amazed at the things that open up, the opportunities that come your way when you let God lead you where He wants you to go. Yeah, not easy to do all the time, but man, Chip's done it. And this is my new favorite magazine. Are you kidding me? I love the stuff they have in here because it's all about just finding, it's like Carol Lawler's book. It's just about finding heaven everywhere, okay? And we can do it if we just take a deep breath and do it. And that's all I got for you today, but we got birthdays. Now, I missed some birthdays since we were out of town doing other things. And I apologize to those of you that we may have missed. My old friend Heather Short, I think you had a birthday on Sunday, perhaps. I don't know. Known you for a long time. Today, the living legend himself, Tyler Brooks. Yes, even at a young age, he's already a living legend. Tyler Brooks, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Good things are coming to you, my friend, this coming year. Yesterday was Alice Drake's birthday from the Old Virginia Beach family, the Sterling family, who's still in Prince St. Anne on 25th Street. Her birthday was yesterday. Tomorrow we have the one, the only, Ann Waldman, one of the greatest people ever. Happy birthday, Ann. Also tomorrow, I'm smiling because this is my very first girlfriend. I think when we were like 7. Yeah, that long ago. Betsy Whitten-Moore, your birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday. You know, we got to catch up one of these days because it's been way too long. And her dad, by the way, was a captain in the United States Navy, and he was my godfather, and he was one of the greatest guys ever. So I just want to throw that in. So today, it's all about it not being about you. It's all about being humble and seeing the opportunities that God has for you, which may or may not be the opportunities you were looking for. But if you go with them, good things are going to happen. That's all I got to say. All right, friends, it's a wrap. And as always, may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times in every way. The Lord be with all of you. Stay strong. Keep the faith. Come on back and see us Friday because we're going to have another live. Hope to see you there. Take care, everybody.